betting on your favorite sports team is not a reality in Colorado yet.
State lawmakers consider bringing sports betting to Colorado.
Colorado is actually a great location for sports betting because we have 5 major league teams. We have football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and even Major League Soccer.
I was thrilled about legalized sports betting coming to Colorado. I lobbied for it.
But look at this margin, 50.71% to 49.29%, a margin of about 20,000 votes or so.
In about 1 week, sports betting will officially be legal in Colorado.
Today, Coloradans can begin betting on sports legally, but in the age of the coronavirus, what is there to bet on?
Sports betting without sports.
You're in the middle of a pandemic and you're launching a market for sports betting in a state that's never had it before with no major U.S. sports. That's just a bizarre sequence of events.
Sports are ingrained in the fabric of American culture, and sports betting goes as far back as sport does. Whether it was regulated or not, it's not a fad. It's something that's existed forever. And this isn't niche. Sports betting is as mainstream as it gets. It touches everybody, sport does. It's the greatest reality show in the world, and betting lets you get involved.
So when we wanted to look at legalizing sports betting, they came to me and asked me if I would be interested in running that bill. And I said, of course, because I think it was a good opportunity for Colorado to get involved in sports betting. And so I was the prime sponsor in the Senate on it.
But I remember the day that the Colorado legislature passed the sports betting bill, which sent the decision to a voter referendum, which is the people's vote.
The vote turned out very close. As a matter of fact, at one time I wasn't sure if it was going to pass or not, but it only takes 50% plus one.
More than 50 applications have been filed to run sports betting operations here in Colorado.
Soon on casino floors, expect those Vegas-style sports books, the big screen TVs, ticket windows, and kiosks that will allow you to watch and bet on the game.
Before sports betting was legal, if you wanted to place a wager here in Colorado, you had to go through an offshore book. Once you're putting your money in a legal operator, you just never know if you're going to get paid out.
There's so much betting happening underground, which is leading to other criminal activity, and now having it regulated, giving people the opportunity to bet legally, and generating revenue for the water projects here in Colorado is a huge win.
Well, analysts say that suggest that the Colorado sports betting market is worth around $300 million in revenue annually. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Colorado market at maturity blow by that $300 million mark.
It just seems like every day there's a new app that's popping up. I don't have to go to the casino to place a bet, to load an account. I can load an account right in my living room. I can withdraw it right in my living room. And some of the things that they're doing here is unheard of in Las Vegas.
So in Colorado, the tax rates and the licensing fees are extremely reasonable. And what this does is it attracts more operators to the market, which leads to more marketing investment from each individual operator, which leads to higher consumer channelization from the black market to the regulated market, which leads to competition, which leads to consumer choice, which leads to a thriving market.
Denver is now under lockdown. Mayor Hancock's order to stay at home took effect at 5 o'clock this evening.
People need to stay at home.
We were really excited about the opportunities coming in May. You're going to have golf, NBA playoffs. We're getting into, training camps with the NFL in the summer. A bunch of different things going on. And with COVID and the pandemic, that put a halt to a lot of things.
It's kind of talks of things were going to be canceled, and then they canceled the conference tournaments, and then it was a matter of time they canceled the whole March Madness.
Live sports in North America disappeared overnight. Everything stopped. Nobody here was broadcasting Belarusian soccer or Russian table tennis on major U.S. TV networks, that's for sure. So all we had for sports were reruns.
It's kind of hard to launch something like sports betting when we don't have any sports to bet on.
The biggest impact that this shutdown has been on the 3 gaming towns in Colorado that have casinos, and that's Blackhawk, Central City, and Cripple Creek. I think for the month of April, it was over $17 million in tax revenue that the state has lost out on.
The community colleges receive money from the casinos. Nonprofit organizations received money. The Gambling Anonymous group, they received money.
There weren't as many sports to have offerings on, but the legal books were very creative. The esports markets have grown exponentially in the daily fantasy sports area, as well as betting. Korean baseball has taken off. NASCAR has grown immensely. Golf is thriving.
That's the extent to which people were able to bet in the month of May. So that's a benefit to all the sports books.
As a business, we were extremely proactive. And so we added new features, we improved the customer experience. The intention was and is to come out of the other end of things even stronger as sports resume. And we feel really good about what we've been able to accomplish during this time.
So my first bet was on one of the coolest sporting events that I can remember, the Tiger Woods, Peyton Manning versus Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady golf match. My first bet was unfortunately on Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady as dogs, but that was a ton of fun to watch, and it was a great event to bet on.
I miss baseball, truly. Tell me what's better than going to a ballpark on a Saturday afternoon, getting a cold drink and a dog? Nothing. There's nothing better than that.
It's been amazing to see how resilient the operators have been, and how excited people are to bet on, different markets that they might not have been interested in before.
Because when people are denied something for so long, they are chomping at the bit and can't wait to do what they've been denied.
I have a feeling that the end of this year and next year is going to be pretty big for mobile gaming across the country. State houses are facing budget deficits, and they're looking for revenue streams to plug the gaps in interest of funding public policy initiatives.
It was a bizarre time to launch a sports betting market, but they pushed forward, and I think it's going to be better for it, because if it can overcome no live sports in the middle of a pandemic, with only 4 and then 6 sports books operational through the first month, I think the needle is pointing up, and it's going to be a huge benefit to the people who bet on it and to the state.
And I just hope to see a competitive market and many operators competing against each other for that sports gambling dollar.
As we get pro sports back, I think it's going to absolutely boom. It's really exciting to see how the public sports betting stocks have done in the market as well. So I'm extremely bullish on the future of sports betting, and I'm excited to see what happens when we have a normal schedule of sports.
You're going to start to see more professional bettors show up. You're going to start to see recreational bettors. Even if it's first-time bettors, they're going to start seeing the excitement and the entertainment that it can bring.
The definite winners are the citizens of the state. They have an incredible amount of choice where they choose to bet. The cross-section of the industry is going to be on full display in the state in the way where it's not in other states. It's anybody's game. How will things shake out? I guess you can be the judge of that, but Colorado is going to be a great market. For now, though, let's play.